Parasha Meditation, Parashat Nitzavim. Okay, this is the parasha that we always read as we prepare ourselves for Rosh Hashanah. So once again, Rosh Hashanah is upon us. Let us stand up and ask ourselves, am I ready? Am I ready to face the King? What can I do in a short remaining time to lift myself up and face my higher self? To stand in a judgment before the King. But not just the King of Kings. Within our super busy lives, we take time out to recite extra prayers, we extend ourselves in kindness, and we open our hearts to give even greater donations, because we hope that in the zchut, in the merit of all that we will merit a blessed year, B'ezrat Hashem. So the meditation that we're going to do shortly is designed to help us really to prepare ourselves to face the King by crowning Hashem King over all of our being, every single limb of our body. Okay, so standing by aligning our mind, body, and soul, we can crown Hashem King over every aspect of our lives. Allowing Hashem's light to flow through our entire being, gently dissolving any blocks that may be standing in the way, preventing us from fully returning to Hashem. So let's remove the spiritual and emotional blocks. Let's remove all of those so that we can experience the sweetest year of our lives, and that we can be empowered to keep learning and growing, finding fulfillment through rejoicing with people we love and becoming closer and closer. And finally, this will lead us to harvest the fruit of our hard labor, rejoicing in the land of Mashiach and with all the people of Israel in the land. Okay, so the first pasuk in Parashat Nitzavim reads like this: Atem Nitzavim hayom kulchem lifnei Hashem Elokechem. You are positioned today, all of you, before Hashem your God. Roshechem, Shiftechem, Ziknechem, V'Shotrechem. Kol Ish Yisrael, the heads of your tribes, your elders, your police people, every person of Israel. Tavchem, Nashechem, V'Gercha Asher Bekerev Machanecha. Your little ones, your wives, the convert that's within your camp, michotev etzecha ad shoev memecha, from your wood chopper until your water carrier. So, what is this all about? One thing that the word atem nitzavim, it means you are standing upright, not with a bent head. You know, some religious people are always looking down. It's not what Hashem is telling us. We need to be upright with raised heads, upright and self-secure, trusting that we will be worthy to stand before God in judgment. Standing before God is just standing straight and not bent over. Holiness does not mean that we should be constantly bowing our heads. The Torah teaches to hold our heads up high. This is why Hashem used the word tisa when he counted the Jewish people. Ki tisa. Tisa means to raise up like you have a string on top of your head, like what we do in exercise and yoga. And even though like tisa is really not the regular word used for counting, that's tifkot, but it's specifically to emphasize that we need to become elevated. We need Kedusha, holiness, leads us to raise our eyes on high and become elevated in any way, in every way. It's sin that causes us to lower our heads. The further anything is from Kedusha, the lower our head, the lower its profile, the more bent is the head. Therefore, the Torah tells us that whenever we stay before Hashem, we should always stand straight with our head raised. Now it says you're standing before God, all of you. So all of you, usually the simple meaning of understanding it is every part of the Jewish people. But it can also mean all of our entire selves, all our shattered, fragmented being we have to reclaim and bring together and raise up before Hashem. We have to embrace our whole self completely. We grow into spiritually adults by raising to face the challenge placed before us. So that helps us to embrace Hashem and face Hashem in our wholeness, reclaiming even the lowliest part of ourselves, the woodcutter, the water carrier aspect, retrieving the shards of self that have been broken off in trauma. This is what Emunah healing does. As we stand up in our integrity, we reclaim all the lost pieces of self that lie hidden behind the walls of shame and pride. All the parts of self that we project onto others when we have problems with other people and we judge them. It's really because there's part of ourself that we're not happy with. As we stand before God and begin to take responsibility for our choices, we become true partners in the work of creation. So, another thing that it means when it says all of you, you're standing upright today, all of you. So it refers to the day of judgment, that, everybody comes to the Beit Knesset, Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippur. So I think they're going to have it indoors this year in our synagogue in Bat Ayin, despite everything. It's been a big dispute. Anyway, when we're insecure about how to stand before the Almighty in judgment on the holy day of Rosh Hashanah, the Torah's advice is all of you, stand together in unity, and then you'll be okay. You cannot underestimate the power of the community to nullify negative judgments. The whole is always greater than the sum of its individual parts. No judgment will have power over us when our individual shadow sides become illuminated by the unity of the community. When we have love for each other, Hashem will have mercy on us. Like a father has mercy on his children, so does Hashem have mercy on those who fear him. So that's the meaning of you're standing today on the day of judgment, all of you united as one. Through the power of the community, we can awaken mercy and sweeten the judgment. And then the last concept before we move to the actual Parasha meditation is that the main work of Rosh Hashanah is to crown Hashem king over each of our limbs. This way we cleave to Hashem and sweeten the judgment. It's easier to crown Hashem king over certain aspects, certain parts of our being than others. There's some parts of our being that the Yetzer Hara holds stronghold, and very hard for us to make Hashem king over those. Like those parts of ourselves that have lowly cravings. The answer is hinted in our Torah verse. All of you, again, with the power of the community, we can achieve purity. But if we're alone, even while being alone, we can only achieve true holiness within the community. Holiness is a gift that God gives only to his children, and only when we're unified, then we're considered Hashem's children. Okay, so let's close our eyes, finding a quiet, pleasant place to practice the standing meditation. You may want to face an inspiring, beautiful nature view. Stands with your feet apart, parallel, like the hip distance apart. Your toes pointing straight forward. Soften the backs of your knees just enough to feel your pelvis relaxing downward and your weight gravitating into your feet. Feet parallel, hip distance apart, toes pointing forward, softening the back of the knees, feeling the pelvis relaxing downwards, and gravitate your weight into your feet. Visualize a golden string from above holding you up from the top of your head. Allow your body to relax and hang off that cord. Can you feel how it supports you? Imagine the golden string becoming a channel for Hashem's life-giving light. This light is streaming into you, filling your head. Envision the light reflecting the words, Hashem hu hamelach. Hashem, He is the King. Recite in your heart, Hashem is the King over my head and face. Hashem hu hamelach. Breathe gently into your head and into your face. Squeeze your eyes tightly and then let them go with a deep sigh. Gaze straight forward with your spine aligned and your head straight on top of your spine. Relax your eyes and the muscles of your face, head, neck, and throat as you mentally recite, Hashem is the King over my outer and inner vision. I give my vision and my sense of hearing over to Hashem, so that I hear and see only goodness. Hashem reigns over my thoughts, speech, and prayer. Hashem is the King. Smile gently and allow the tip of your tongue to rest softly on the roof of your mouth, just behind your upper front teeth. It could be touching or just hovering really close. As you position your tongue, recite quietly, Hashem rules over my tongue. My words are filled with the light of Hashem. Take a full breath in, then let it go. Take another deep inhalation and just let it go naturally. Let the breath happen on its own speed. Breathe continuously without a gap between the inhalations and the exhalations. As you breathe, recite inwardly, I make Hashem King over my lungs and over my breathing. While continuing to breathe mindfully, allow any tension in your body to drain out, starting from your head, through your face, neck, shoulders, arms, wrists, and hands, your torso, belly, and pelvis, your thighs, knees, ankles, and feet, all the way down to your roots in the ground. With your silent voice recite, Hashem is the King. May all the blockages disappear. Let every klipa, every husk disintegrate. All negativity fly away easily in the wind. Now envision strings of light attached to your wrist. Feel like your wrist being lifted up by these strings. Allowing the strings to lift your wrists slowly until they're parallel to your shoulders. As you lift up your wrists, turn them to face upward. Focus on the light of Hashem on how the light of Hashem continues to spread out to your fingertips and recite inwardly. Hashem is the king over my neck, shoulders, arms, wrists, hands, and actions. Let all the work of my hands be for the sake of Hashem. Allow your shoulders to relax and open up as much as they can. One way to do this is to imagine all the joints of your shoulder expanding and making just a little bit more space between them, as if every bone in your shoulders is becoming just a little further apart from each other. Have your palms face your body at your heart, creating a circle between your arms and your body. Extend your fingers, allowing space between them, and lift your elbows slightly so your armpits feel hollow. Maybe something like this. Recite in your heart, Hashem is the king over my heart and all my emotions. Hashem is the king over all of my love. Allow the fingertips of each of your hands to point towards each other without touching, as if you were hugging somebody. Mentally recite, I'm making Hashem king over all my giving and over all my embraces, so they will be intended purely for Hashem. Take a couple of deep inhalations and complete exhalations. As you do that, make whatever small adjustment you need in your stance to feel comfortable. While standing tall and upright, imagine standing together with all of the Jewish people. Envision all the people standing in front of you and those behind you. Visualize melting into the sea of your people. Everyone breathing softly together with their heart beating in rhythm. Now imagine the light of Hashem's love entering even deeper into you. The light fills your torso, your belly, and pelvis. Recite quietly, Hashem reigns over my eating and digestion. Hashem hu hamelach, Hashem, He is the King. As you imagine the light of Hashem cleansing your liver on the right below your rib cage, recite in your heart, Hashem is King over all the heavy things in my life. All the heavy metals and the poisons get neutralized in His great light. Allow yourself to feel how even your gallbladder and every bitterness in your life becomes filled with the sweetness of Hashem's light. Whisper, Hashem is the King over my kidneys and over my worry. I don't have to feel guilty. Even my mistakes are from Hashem. Hashem hu hamelach. Hashem is King over all of me. Allow even your feet to relax. Lean slightly backwards on your heels. Let your feet stand easily and relaxed on the floor, like the webbed feet of a duck. Allow Hashem's light to spread down your thighs, knees, and ankles, all the way down to your toenails. Mentally recite, Hashem is King over my hergelim, my habits. Hashem is King over my step. Wherever I go, I walk only in His light. Visualize yourself walking on your regular path with a newfound serenity. Gently tap your feet on the ground as you prepare yourself to return to normal life. When you're ready, open your eyes thankfully that your life is dedicated to Hashem. Okay. That was Parasha Meditation.